And think about this, Larry Ward has had about 10 minutes to rest, get the bike ready after that last chance qualifier. I guarantee you he's warmed up and knows the track better than anyone else. Think about the guys like Jeremy that qualified right out of the heat. They haven't seen this track in a while.
Who will get the Yahoo Sports whole shot of $1,000 extra? It's sideways. They're revving. They're off. Damon Huffman, who got on the podium in 3rd place last week, got the whole shot. But right there is Jeremy McGrath and Ricky Carmichael. McGrath to the inside. Huffman doesn't want to give it up. Carmichael to the inside to try to get into 2nd. Does.
Well, this is set up great. Right behind these 3 guys, you got Villeman right there doubling into the corner. Windham also a pretty decent start. He's got him in sight.
He's in 6th. Can they stay with Jeremy as the thousands of flashbulbs pop here in the Georgia Dome?
I think Carmichael had the speed to do it last week, but he crashed in the 1st corner and didn't get a chance to prove it. Now he will. I think they shipped the dirt for this track from Carmichael's house. It's so similar to what he rides on.
Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael. And now David Villeman in 3rd, with Huffman slipping back to 4th.
Villeman coming up a little short on that triple where he crashed in the heat race, but his long body soaked it up a little bit better that time.
What are we seeing in Jeremy McGrath now? His strategy usually has been busted as best you can and get away.
He will. He's focused so much on the beginning of this race. Get into the lead if you don't get the start. If you get the start, disappear. Don't even let anyone study anything that you're doing and ruin their confidence. If you're riding your best and a guy's pulling away from you, you start looking back going, all right, well, let me just make sure I keep these guys off me. Forget catching that guy.
He's already 4 seconds ahead of 934. David Villeman in 2nd place.
Windham apparently has gone down, Art. So he's circulating around in last place.
So McGrath, Carmichael, Villeman, Huffman, and Tortelli are top 5. And the woes continue for Kevin Windham.
Yeah, last week he went down, but I still think I was encouraged, as a matter of fact, by seeing the way that he charged the end of the race. That had been a tough one for him, and I don't think he really meant to have to crash and come back. I don't think he wants to turn that into a habit, but he's definitely got to come from a long ways back this time.
Let's go down to trackside. Davey Combs.
Hey, take a look at this. This is Mike Craig's bike, a DNF right before the end of the 1st lap. You're trying to figure out what happened to Kevin Windham. Well, Craig wrecked right in front of him, and Windham ran into the back of him. Craig's out of the race. Windham dead last.
Too bad for both guys. That was obviously a pretty tremendous impact. It takes so much strength. I wish I had some sort of figure to give you, some telemetry on what it takes to break those handlebars, but it's not easy to do.
Our leader, Jeremy McGrath, just simply pulling away.
Look at that. Just hops up into that corner, makes it look easy. He's reaching up to readjust that clutch lever, take the play out of it.
In 7 years, he's placed at least in the top 4 every year here in Atlanta. He's looking for his 4th win in 5 years of the Georgia Dome. And here's David Villeman.
He's trying to ride his best, put in his best laps, but he's just not able to make any ground. LaRocco starting to charge up, but once again, he's having to charge up.
It's a battle for 7th with Larry Ward in 6th.
I just keep our eye on LaRocco in the last 5 laps of this race. Look how strong he is through there. He'll come out of this corner, and, well, it looked like Larry closed the line a little bit, but he normally would triple that.
Ward having to go to the last chance qualifier to get this opportunity in the main. LaRocco now looking for the pass. He makes the pass. McGrath, our leader. RC still in 2nd.
Carmichael had this opportunity in the heat race to follow him around, try to study him. He's staying closer this time. Still not close enough. I mean, for Jeremy to know he has this lead, almost 3 seconds now, he just goes into a pace that he knows he can maintain, and they'll never catch him. At least they haven't been able to so far.
Carmichael's looking very smooth.
You know, he looks really aggressive on top of that smoothness. It's kind of hard to make sense of, but I think actually he's.
That was Kyle Lewis in our picture that they were taking the bike off the tough blocks.
Yeah, that was at the end of the straightaway. These guys are approaching and got out of shape and went completely off over the top of the berm. That's what the flags are there for. Anyway, I think Carmichael he's gotten a little bit of smoothness into his style that started off a little bit like Pastrana's, was just people were going, boy, if he could just tone it down a little bit. Well, he's done that, but he's still been able to keep all that speed, that explosiveness. That was a great save.
But it allowed Willeman to come up and take second place. David Willeman in second place with the Yamahas 1 and 2.
That seemed to rattle Ricky a little bit, and he better get it back together pretty quick, because number 20, Huffman, is breathing down his neck.
Will the hose shooter, Huffman, get onto the podium for the second straight week? The answer is coming up.
Now, Carmichael was the one putting the heat on him. No, not a lot of heat, but it was just there enough to bother him until this. Started into the whoops, his feet came off the pegs. Looked like that was the first problem from the seat hitting him in the butt. Great save, and the only way you can save that is a grip on the bike with your knees so you can land back on the pegs, and you use that clutch, and every time your foot gets back to that rear brake, step on it a little bit and try to slow down. What a great recovery right there. I think a couple of years ago, or even last year on the 250, he'd have gone down.
Yeah.
That would have been a crash.
But Ricky Carmichael learning on that 250 as Jeremy McGrath. There's Damon Huffman just getting back up as he slid out. He was in 4th position at the time.
That was right before the whoops, and both Tortelli and Mike LaRocco went around. It
so
looks
he'll
like
put him in 6th.
Huffman was pointing at something.
So in recapping, it's Jeremy McGrath, David Willeman, Ricky Carmichael, Mike LaRocco, Sebastian Tortelli, and then Damon Huffman. Dowd has moved up to 7th as we check out our leader. He's got a pretty good fence right behind him. One of his best friends, Grayson Goodman, but I'm not sure he's going to need it.
No, I don't think he's going to need it. And, I think Grayson's above that. It's not, if the title was on the line and you got best friends and you may have talked about it, perhaps Grayson could go a little wide and be like, oh, sorry, I thought you were going to go in, and just get in the way a little bit. I don't think we'll see that right now. Jeremy still, there's that same straightaway again. It'll look like the lap before, the same perfect timing. Gets into the corner, same exact line. He's a machine. And he looks over on the straightaway. The guy's coming the other way going, yeah, I'm winning again. Hard work and focus. Good shot of Randy.
Randy Lawrence, yeah. Jeremy McGrath's mechanic.
Back through the whoops another time. He keeps the front wheel just hitting the tops. Rarely see the bike drop all the way down in him unless he starts to time him, which he did there towards the end because of getting worn down a little bit more.
Let's go to Davey.
I was listening to you guys talk about Jeremy. I got to ask you, David, as a former Supercross champion, how in the world can that guy focus when he's carrying the #1 plate? He's the guy in front of the opening ceremonies. He's the guy on the commercials. Everyone in the 60,000-seat stadium wants his autograph. How in the world does that guy just keep coming up and coming up and coming up?
That's a great question. I think we all have our own opinions of it. I think Jeremy, it's like an addiction for him. He loves to be in that position. He takes great responsibility, and I watch him sign autographs and talk to kids. He loves being in the limelight and being able to make a difference. And to him, he's just doing what he likes to do. This is just fun for him, and it's a lot more fun if he wins. So he does whatever it takes during the week necessary so he can keep on winning. He's got great parents, and he's a special individual. There's no doubt about that.
So Jeremy McGrath with more than a comfortable lead. He'd have to have a bike break or something like that to lose this one.
That's the first little bitty mistake I've seen all night. He overjumped that triple a little bit. He'd much rather overjump it than underjump it. You saw what happened to Willeman another little mistake there. They didn't decide to jump into that corner that time, but now his lead over Willemin has grown. They can afford to take it a little easy through some sections.
He's got the whole straightaway of the track on Willemin.
Yeah, the track, this is not to say that the track designers didn't do a great job of putting it together. I mean, they threw a lot of lime in here to try to harden up the faces of these jumps so they wouldn't rut out. But this kind of soil wears down. You see Jeremy moving over out of that middle groove where the rut is, and he doesn't have to deal with that. Starting to have to pick a lot more lines. He talked about that earlier in the show, that you're going to have to be patient. He wouldn't be able to use the same line for very long. He's really skilled at being able to figure out where the next best line is going to develop and find it before everybody else.
Less than 5 laps to go for Jeremy McGrath, who's gunning for his 6th victory. It would be win number 65 on his career. About an 8.1 second lead on David Willemin, a 17.3 second lead on Ricky Carmichael. We're back in the Georgia Dome, round 8 of EA Sports Supercross. Our leader, who else? Jeremy McGrath. He's on his way to just leading every lap for the last 4 races. Mike LaRocco's gone from 12th to 4th. Windham has gone from last to 6th place behind him. But no challenge to our leader as we take a look at a battle back in the pack. John Dowd, Damon Huffman, number 20. Dowd and Larry Ward.
Huffman was looking good. He got the start he needed to get. He was in contention with those guys, could see what they're doing. He got into their groove, and when he fell, he just kind of let some of the air out, and then now he's been getting pressure. Windham just passed him a lap ago. Move up another spot. A great ride for Kevin, who was last. He's all the way back up to 6th now. This is the battle developing behind him. Guys like Dowd, Larry Ward with all that experience. You really can't relax if you're Damon Huffman.
Well, it's good to see Damon Huffman with an aggressive riding style.
He's been picking it up little by little. It's hard, you know. If something happens in your career, an injury or whatever, especially the one he had, it takes everything out of you. You got to build it all back up.
White flag for Jeremy McGrath. 1 lap away from 80 straight laps leading 250 Supercross.
That's domination. And he said he'd like to let these guys think about that a little bit over the week break they get.
Jeremy's going to use that time, I think, to get back into his conditioning program after the flu bug hit him pretty hard. He wants to get ready for the motocross-like track at Daytona, which he says a win there was one of his big thrills.
The smiley face from Randy Lawrence as McGrath goes by the mechanics area.
I bet that made Jeremy smile.
Yeah.
It has to. You know, he doesn't have to worry about Willemin breathing down his neck right here. He can look at those things and soak it up.
McGrath, the turn. The checkers are waiting for him. Jeremy McGrath becomes the winningest rider in Supercross Yamaha history. His 21st victory out of Yamaha. And there's 9:34, David Willemin, the only other rider this year to score a victory that comes in over at 2nd place.